Moment of silence for the champions.
They say we warriors. They say we did it again.
Hands high for the champions.
No surrender, no retreat. We take the battlefield over every time.
Hey, clap your hands for the champions.
We came, we saw, we conquered everything in sight.
Moment of silence for the champions.
D-League Opinions.
Welcome back to D-League Opinions. This is Hoagie back live in action. I want to introduce y'all to my childhood friend, a man I am so proud of, Royal Clark. How you doing, man?
What's good, man? I'm doing all right.
You doing good? You doing good? Good. Season supposed to start October 19th, man. You ready for it?
Dude, my TV's gonna be tuned, bro. Like, I'm excited. It's so much going on, dude. And it's gonna be probably like one of the best we've had in a couple of years.
Who was your team?
I mean, I don't really have a team per se anymore.
You just a fan of the game.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the game. You know, I was a D Wade fan. That's how I kind of got into the NBA to begin with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, somebody lended me like Michael Jordan, like old, videos I used to put on like this little DVD player or whatnot.
Yeah.
But so I used to watch that when I was a kid and, just watching highlights from the 80s and different things like that. But like D-Wade was like something that my cousin got me on. So I was always watching the Heat from like 07 up until like, LeBron joined. And
like right before LeBron, I got you.
Right before LeBron, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I liked him and I followed him, even though like he descended, man. Like his career just kind of he fell off bad, but
he did.
That was my dude to the end. So
I mean, at least he's still in the game with being part-time owner of the Jazz. So, I mean,
he's doing his thing. He's always been a businessman. So, and I looked up him more than just with basketball. Even when he was like, you would see him in like, just news interviews, different things like that, talking to the media. Like, dude's very intelligent as well. So, I mean, I always liked his persona,
No, I got you. That's what's up. So, kind of piggybacking off of that real quick, how you think the Heat gonna do? I got him as 4 seed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You got him as a 4 seed?
I got him as 4. They could be 3 seed. But I got him as 4.
Man, I feel like they're still gonna be like at the bottom half of the seeding. I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. And here's my deal. You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy Butler, let me first preface this. Like, I respect his grind. I love that dude. Like, dude. I've never really been a fan of his persona, but like, dude can grind. He plays hard and whatnot. But I've just never really have been sold on his game. In terms of just leading, a team. I think everybody would agree he can't lead a team to a championship by himself. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, a lot of people will probably argue, the bubble was kind of maybe sort of like a throwaway season sort of thing, luck, that whole, shebang. But
it was some craziness. I think that with the I don't think it was a lot. I just think some players couldn't handle it being secluded like that. Not to get affected in their game.
Oh yeah. I feel like it gave people alternatively, it gave people that you normally just wouldn't see, being great. It just gave them a newfound confidence. You know what I'm saying?
TJ Warren, 50 points a night.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was putting up numbers like Jimmy Butler.
Like crazy.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like it just, especially, not playing with the crowd, that type of pressure, that atmosphere. It felt like you were shooting in a gym. It literally just felt like that. And I feel like people kind of took advantage of that. Just, you can't underestimate taking a whole stadium and just all that build up, that momentum out of all of that. You just coming into the gym and you about to shoot hoops. Everybody a star now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So with the upcoming season coming, Ben Simmons threatening to hold out. You got the CEO of his sports agency company. They're talking with Philly. Maybe they can hash something out. But how you see that going?
Man, You know, it's really funny because it's become sort of like a meme with the whole Rich Paul, you know, being the representative of Ben and how he's pretty much supposedly sabotaged all of his clients, you know, deals with the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, what vendetta does he have against these guys? It's literally hilarious when I like think about it. But, you know, if we were to assume that really had nothing to do with it, I look at it like this, and you kind of got to take it like back a little bit back to the beginning, right? And this is something that I bring up that a lot of people, matter of fact, I don't think I've heard anybody bring this up, but you got to kind of look at who's to blame with this. Okay, everybody looks at Ben Simmons, you know, he doesn't shoot, don't shoot the ball. You know, the fan base has lost faith in him, which is probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want to come back. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's probably one of the reasons. But then I go back and you look at it, let's say you go back before they fired Brett Brown, right? This dude, the beginning of that season, his last season, the high priority, the top priority for that team was for Ben Simmons to shoot the ball more from outside. Now, did he improve? Not so much, but his volume increased. You know, the intentionality was there, and you were seeing that happen. And that was something I was like, okay, you can build off of this, right? Of course, you know the rest. You know, Philadelphia, you know, they get knocked out, you know, the round of the playoffs, and then Brett Brown, he's fired, and then Doc Rivers, you know, they bring him on. And then here's the first thing, well, at least one of the first things that he said to the media when he came on. He said, they were asking him, are you concerned about Ben Simmons' shot? He said, I'm not concerned at all.
No.
And I just wonder, do people think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, your coach just said that is not a top priority. So you fast forward to Ben Simmons literally being a non-factor in the offense, yet nobody is talking about how it was never a priority from the beginning.
Yeah.
So he's catching all this flack when Doc was like, I'm not worried about it. I want him to play the way he plays. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he plays the way he plays, which, like, again, Ben Simmons, I'm not absolving him because, like, his lack of, oh my God. I mean, he was horrible. He was atrocious. He
was. And I think him not shooting, it's just, it was okay. That would have made him a better team. It was okay. It was just his lack to just put up any shot at all. Because remember, he went from putting up like 12 shots a game to like putting up 5 in that Hawks series.
Yeah.
So it's like, what happened? And I think that's on Doc. As the series going on, you're seeing that what is Doc saying to Ben to like get him jump started? He didn't get jump started. That's kind of coach at the same time as Ben. That's the whole mental thing on Ben.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, I like, even with, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to beat up Doc, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you got to set the tone as a leader. It does go back to the top more often than not. So then you look at it as, you know, they get knocked out of the playoffs again. And then, you know, Doc Rivers, he goes to the media, which he tries to explain, like, that's not what he meant when they asked him, can you, you know, do you believe that Ben Simmons is still a friend? Now, he was like, no, that's not what I meant when I said, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just didn't want to answer the question. But still, at the same time, you can't afford to make that type of mistake when you're when you're saying something about your franchise player. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't afford to not know. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what. I mean, ask Frank Vogel that same type of question when they got knocked out of the round by Phoenix. You know, do you expect Frank Vogel to say, I don't know?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just like, if you give an answer like that and you go back and you're like, you know, I didn't want to answer the question at the time. I know what I meant. I wouldn't want to get into all that. There has to be some communication, because before you clear that up, your player has already seen the interview. So there has to be some communication as far as that, and also there has to be some communication between Ben and Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid has some comments too. I don't think there was any communication. I think there was a lot of cold shoulder, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I just look at it and I'm like, this has probably been brewing behind the scenes before, you know, playoffs even began. And that's why I feel like, you know, all of that was just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? And Joel Embiid, I mean, even the recent comments where he made where he was just like, yo, it's disrespectful that this dude is holding out on us like this when all these other guys are buying in. Like that, I mean, as much as I'm with him with it, like I don't see why Ben Simmons, even though we're seeing the contract, discussions happening where he's like, maybe I'll come back and play because he's seeing that he might lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But why would you want to come back?
Yeah. I mean, keep in mind they right when the playoffs ended, the Sixers was trying to trade him away. They was already all right. We're moving on. Now you want to. Now you want me back. Now you calling the X back like, hey, can we work things out? Nah. So I definitely see where Ben coming from, but I think if he comes back, I think they could still make another deep playoff run. That's what I believe.
And they were what, number 2 last season? Like right behind Milwaukee. They kind of like faltered a little bit, like latter half of the season, but they were like neck and neck.
Was they number 1?
Who was it? It was
Was the Nets number 1?
The Net.
Nets number 2.
They were like, look, they were top 3. Philly.
No, the Sixers was number 1 because the Hawks was the 5th seed.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, but I know they dropped off for a minute. They're kind of like battling. They're going up and down a little bit, and they kind of experienced a little turmoil around the end of the season. But I mean, I'm like, they were winning games. You know what I'm saying? But one point about what you're making about Ben Simmons and just how they're about to trade him. One thing I was talking about, talking to who's like a guy who's a diehard Philly fan, and we just discussed it. It was like, what if Philadelphia did that on purpose to just hurt his trade value? What if they put him on a trade block? Because I mean, you got to think about it. This dude has already like kind of made his value go down already. But then you put him on the trade block. People offer you, different, offers, but you don't want to accept anything because you're now trying to make his value higher than what it is. So you decline all the offers that you're going to get, and you're just hurting his trade value to begin even more than what, he left it off when he, kind of stunk it up in the playoffs. So it's like almost like a game that the 76ers were strategic about with just, hey, like, we don't mind playing this game, in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's a very weird game. We got like 2 more minutes. Let me get your view on Kyrie and the Nets. We didn't talk this to death in previous episodes, but I want your view on it.
Oh my gosh. Like Kyrie, I've tried to keep such an open mind about this guy. I've tried my hardest, man. It's so difficult. But like, I mean, let me be clear though, because we got to outline some of the things. I personally, hey, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But of course, you got the guidelines in that area that is requiring them to do that when they come.
Of course.
It's a tough situation. It's very tough. So it's like you can't just be one way about it, like, he's being selfish or whatnot. Let's be clear, though. Let's be honest. If he wouldn't have done what he did last season, I don't think it would be such a big stink as it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even taking off, without telling the team. I mean, just the whole 9 yards, just how he's been kind of volatile, with the media and different things like that. Yeah. Like, dude is A1, dude. Like, that dude can ball. You know, it's just like, his ideals sometimes get in the way of just professionalism. That's my opinion.
It's tough.
What you say?
It's weird because it's kind of like he's not being a team player to me. The guys on the podcast don't kill when they see this, but it's kind of like he's not being a team player to me because like he knows he's gonna most likely sit out half the season, and then now that he's gonna sit out half the season, if you trade me, I'm gonna retire. So now you're making yourself untradeable, and it's like, like you don't want what's best for the team, you just want what's best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's literally shown that he was just like, look, I hold all the chips. He held all the chips, when he got Kevin and James Harden together anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like that relationship that they had, getting Kevin about two seasons ago, which was, oh my God, genius. But like then you get James Harden in the mix. I mean, like, you know, you got the organization's hands tied. You know?
Yeah.
And his contract is still kind of big. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think he has like 2 years plus an option left on his contract. So I mean, like, he was kind of untradeable to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus, teams didn't want to deal with his personality and all those things that they've witnessed. But you know, my deal is this: you can still win a championship without Kyrie. That's my hot take about that, though.
I don't think so. I don't. Just because that team is so injury prone, you need those 3 players in the mix because you'll never know when one of them is going to go down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. And I agree, but you got to look at it. I mean, you know, put it in a scenario. I mean, if say for instance they did put him in a package and different things like that, and then you get some depth, you know, especially in your bench, because that's the problem with them right now. Even with all 3 of them, that their bench is just dry. They don't got like, you know, any depth in any of those positions, simply because they're tied, you know, financially. So it's just like you don't have any depth. But you know, theoretically, if you got rid of him, I could see them still winning the championship. Now, do I think they'll win a championship this season? No. There's no way. There's no way. And especially if Kyrie, he sits out pretty much half of the games. If he were to just say, I'm not going to get the vaccine, and he has to sit out every home game, I don't see it happening at all.
Not at all. And before we leave, I did make a point of that a couple episodes ago that if you trade, I as a GM, with Kyrie's blessing that he wouldn't retire, I would trade Kyrie and get some depth that can play, and get a big man that can play 82 games instead of just 41, not even 41, because King playing with the Knicks too. So it's like, but that's it for D League Opinions. Thank y'all for watching. We will see y'all later.